So this is the Stihl br800C review. I think this is the only one they do in the UK. Big difference, well, there's two 800s. There's the side start, or you can have the normal start that comes out there. I think that we only have this one in the UK. So I've been allowed to demo this from Stihl GB for the last month or so. I'll just point out some things I like about it, some things I don't, and what I've noticed in terms of power. So sort of the features of this blower is this little hook here, so it's useful if you're storing it on in your van or your trailer, whatever. It's nice and compact. I rarely use it myself. So while we've got this tube here, same as the 700, you can adjust the tube in and out and lock it up with this ring here. Now, one thing I did notice on my first use of this blower is this handle. I think it's the same as the 700. I don't think they've changed the shape of it, but where this groove is, where it splits, it's quite narrow, and this isn't a problem if you wear gloves, but I found first time using it, I didn't have gloves on because it wasn't that cold, with all the force coming out of this tube, you're holding it back with your hand, the middle palm of your hand, and it was actually causing some uncomfort there. Small thing, but something that could be improved, could be a bit more nice and chunky grip. You've got the same here. If you release this, you can adjust the length of that. That's nothing new, but it is quite useful. This is fixed, unlike on competitor machines. And you push that down to turn it off. You've got your sort of cruise control, full power, and a head tick over. So it's a 79.9 cc 4-mix engine, and what they've done with a lot of their new stuff is you can take the cowling off here to do your valves without having to take all this stuff off to do it, which is good. Usual sort of fuel tank, so backup load. You've got to use quite a colourful two-stroke oil to see the thing, to see how much fuel there is. If you used some stuff that's quite clear, quite sort of greeny, you may not always see it. It's a nice sort of foot plate. 2 screws to get to the air filter. Fuel caps, nice position, not much of a problem there. I'll get to the side start in a second. So the biggest difference with this compared with the 600 and the 700 is the straps. These are a lot nicer. Problem I had with the previous ones is you'd have this strap coming down here, slide off the strap and dig into you while using it, and now it's all sort of sewn on. It's about a centimetre, a bit over thick, which is quite nice. It's got the hip belt, which is quite nice, and it came with these chest straps. I think that's a standard feature now, which again is useful when you're doing lots of blowing. If you're doing the odd 1 minute, 2 minute blow, you don't really need to bother with that. If you're doing a lot of these, it's nice to have it strapped up tight. First impression when I put it on was it was very balanced, so yeah, it felt nice and comfortable. I suppose the biggest talking point is this side start, and I saw a review on YouTube well, they said that isn't the best thing about this blower, it's the ease of access to do your valves. I probably would agree with that. There's a certain knack to the side start. You've got to put it there and then pull. It's not a simple system. Might be better for the one-man band people, where if you had a crew of 10 people, whatever, or even 4, you've got to teach every one of them. And I don't know how strong these things are, but if you get someone quite heavy-handed, I don't know how strong that whole system will be. I would like to think it will be strong enough to hold up, but if you've got someone ripping it every time and it not working properly, it may not necessarily last that long. I don't know. I'm not a massive fan myself. So I've been using it for about a month, and I think I've been stopped once, maybe twice, by a client to talk about whatever. Yes, it is useful to then just do that, but you've got to get the knack to it. It's not that hard to take it off and just start it normally. So it's, I don't know, it's not my favourite thing about that. If that was normal, it would be okay. I'll just set it up, see if I can demonstrate how it works. Do that and then so it's okay. I think it will limit the amount of people that can use it. I've spoken to 1 or 2 people who said their shoulders are, well, worn out and they won't be able to use it. So I think having the option of the normal recoil here, or else I'll have to go to another manufacturer. But other than that, the power's pretty good. Now, I've been using this alongside my Echo PB770. I'll say this has got a bit more power to it, definitely. It's definitely got more CFM. I think the airspeed is a bit more as well. Would I say it's worth about £100 more? That I'm not too sure on, to be honest with you. The more comfortable, when I say more comfortable, the Echo straps are quite comfortable, but having the hip belt and the chest straps is quite useful. That's worth maybe like £5–10 the extra power, but because it's 4-mix, it hasn't got that speed where 2-stroke has. I've often seen it in go-karts. A higher CC 4-mix engine will not go as fast as a lower CC 2-stroke engine. And that is on a go-kart. You really need 4-mix for the torque. When all it's doing is spinning a propeller, there's not really any force against the propeller. So good for streamers and stuff. Not too sure about blowers. I did try a NEWto backpack blower, which was 4-mix, a bit more of a proper one where it had separate fuel and oil reservoir. It was a nice machine, but it had no guts to it. This has more guts. But yeah, is it worth that extra £100? Maybe, if you desperately need a new blower, but I don't know. It's a very tricky one. But it is more powerful than the 770, so therefore it's more powerful than 600 and 700 clearly. Good power, comfortable. The good thing, which I forgot to mention, is it is just a dead straight tube, where before, certainly in the UK, you would get the tube that would bend near the end. I think you can take this bit off and put a longer one on if you need even more room. This setup here, being short, is useful if you're in tight places. Otherwise, the air spreads out wider. So if you're on like this sort of shingle, or even in dry conditions, you don't get everything going back right into your face. As opposed to if you had the tube long and you had pointing right beneath you. Little waffle. So overall, it's quite a nice machine. It does drink fuel. Tank lasted around an hour, just over. So I'm not sure the size of the tank compared with the other blowers. Seems pretty big. Yeah, I think, if you could get the normal start version, I think that would be a bit of a nice machine. But all in all, it is nice and comfy. It is, I say, it's well balanced. The straps are nice, and yeah, not much really to say for that. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.